Self-realization, enlightenment. These are the two buzzwords in any spiritual circles. So when we talk about spiritual attainment, we talk about one is self-realized or one is enlightened. So what does this means? Self-realization means realization of self. What is self? That is the question. Enlightened means as if I didn't know anything, I was in dark and suddenly under light of awareness or a different awareness, maybe we can say, I see differently or I see different things. So seeing differently, seeing maybe the same world, same thing, differently in a way that a new meaning, a new understanding, a new seeing comes. So now the things are no more the same. Everything is seen differently as if. So we can say it to be enlightenment. So self-realization and enlightenment. So we use different words, but in a way we can say self-realization is the way to enlightenment. Or in another way we can say self-realization and enlightenment are same, one and the same. Why? Because the fundamental question, like many sages have said, who am I? What am I? Why I am here? What is this world all about? I am here, I am born in this world and took birth, and one day I will die. So what happens from where I came and from to where I will go? So all these are the fundamental questions, largely about me, largely about I, self, my life, my beginning, my end. So in this world, in waking state, when I am awake, I see myself as body. I do many things, participate in many activities, engaged in many things in this world. Constantly I am busy. And all my activities, all my thoughts, all my emotions, all my body, everything is part of me in a way, is as if makes me. So I identify myself with all these activities, thoughts, emotions, body, mind, and I say I am, that I exist. So I realize that I exist in this world constantly. But the challenge comes that I exist now, but what will happen when I die? Will I not exist? And if I exist even after death, what is the form? Clearly, when I die, I will not remain in this body. Maybe even thoughts will change. Maybe even emotions may not be there. Even thoughts may not be there. I don't know. This is my assumption that I will exist. So, first of all, do I exist after death? Or if I exist, what is the form in which I exist? And if I don't exist, or if there is a different form after my death, then what is my true self? This body, these thoughts, these emotions, are this true self? Or when I die and I will no longer exist, at least not in the form now I am in, then what will happen? Then what is my form, my true self? Or if any form is there, so is that form my true self? So these are the questions a spiritual seeker may ask. And layers upon layers one explore. One starts with these questions, but even in later stages also one asks the same questions. Only difference is now at a different layer one asks these questions. So it's like onion, one peels off one layer and then another layer appears and I ask the same question again. So seeking the self, seeking or trying to understand, find out what am I truly, what is my true self. That is the fundamental inquiry in a spiritual search. And I seek that. And when I finally arrive and trying to seek the true self, I finally arrive. The fundamental self, the original self, the basis of everything. Realizing that is termed as self-realization, like in Sanatan Dharma is termed as Atma Sakshatkar, same as self-realization. Directly encountering the self, not even realization, directly encountering Sakshatkar, the true self. And realizing the true self is the enlightenment, because it's a fundamental shift in the way I exist, in the way I see the world, in the way everything is perceived. There is a fundamental shift in that perception, in that seeing, in that understanding, in the way I exist. And not only the way I exist, but also everything exists. The way everything exists. Realizing that the true self, the true way everything exists, true existence, one may term as enlightenment. So, in a way, both are one and the same thing. So here one need to understand that I perceive myself in a definite certain way, maybe as a body, and when I realize my true self, the way I see myself, the way I exist changes. Because it is said that this whole existence, the way I see, is illusion. It's like a dream. So when I see that even I am the way I am right now, or the way I perceive myself, is an illusion, is like I exist in dream. So it's like if anything exists in dream, is it true? Or the one who sees the dream, who is seeing the dream and who is the seer of the dream, is he the true self? This kind of shift happens when I see that I am kind of in a dream and I am being seen. So the fundamental shift comes is now, till now I see everything, till now I am something, and from I do everything, from here I see everything. But then in self-realization, in journey towards self-realization, I start realizing that everything is transitory. Everything changes, nothing is permanent, and in a way, everything comes and goes, and everything that goes just becomes a dream. Everything which is lost in time is just now a memory, like a dream. So I cannot touch it, I cannot see it, I cannot experience which has gone. So if anything I cannot experience and anything which has gone, vanished, once it existed but it is now just a dream, just illusion, just imagination. Similarly, everything right now I am experiencing is going to be lost in time, and I will never ever come back again, never ever experience the same thing again, whatever I am experiencing this moment. And soon it will become imagination, like a dream. So anything which becomes a dream is a dream. Anything which becomes an imagination is an imagination. Because I cannot touch it. It's a question actually. If anything becomes imagination, is it really there? Does it really exist? So, a person who realizes the self or moves towards the self, real self, seek the real self, starts seeing that everything is an illusion. And in that, even I am an illusion. Seeing this is somewhat difficult. That everything else seems to be illusion, but seeing myself as an illusion or as a dream is a little difficult because I am there always. World may change, but I see myself existing always. So there is a paradox here. I exist always, but I am part of this world which is transitory and which becomes imagination. And soon I will also vanish, and then I will be imagination. Just memories of me will remain. So there are two things. One is fundamentally I feel or sense that I exist. On the other hand, I will also vanish. I will also become a memory only. So there are two parts in me. When I try to realize myself, so then this is the struggle. One part belongs to this world which is temporary, and one part belongs to which is permanent, which never dies. So in spiritual journey, this is the shift. Movement from me, which is transitory and which is impermanent, temporary, and towards I, which is permanent and which is always there. The difficulty is I trust too much which is transitory, which is temporary, non-permanent. And I have trust and belief in all the things which are temporary, non-permanent, transitory, which is like an illusion. But still I believe it. Why? Because of my habit, because of my tendency to believe everything which I experience through my senses. Senses makes everything seems real. So anything experienced through senses, anything experienced through my body and corresponding senses, I consider it to be real. Deep down, I have a tendency of believing what is validated by my senses, as if senses are the authority to validate anything or everything. So I little bit move back in a spiritual journey, and anything perceived, experienced through senses, I start questioning what is permanent or what is not permanent, and move towards which is permanent. So every time I exist, in every experience I am there, I exist as an experiencer. But I experience through senses. So there are two things, an experiencer and then there are senses. If I go back beyond senses, behind senses, who is perceiving, how the things are getting perceived, experiences are getting perceived or experienced or known, anything which is known, how it is known, who is knowing. And I go back and deep, and if I go deep enough, I see that I don't see, I don't experience, something experience, as if there is some, if you can call it self, which experiences, which is not me, which is not limited to me. And which is the cause of all the existence in a way, which is the basis of all the existence, which is the experiencer of all the existence, all the things that is going on in this world, as if. Realizing that is self-realization, and realizing that is enlightenment also, because realizing that means now suddenly I see everything in more clear light. Now I don't see, in fact, now the things are seen in more clear light. Not by me as if, but seen. Even I am seen. So it's like I am under the light. Now I am visible more clearly. And my existence is visible more clearly. And truth of my existence is visible. Till that time I see, till the time I am there as a me, that I wish to see, I want to see, I want to experience everything, it is limited. And I don't see myself, my true existence, truth of my existence. Only truth of my existence is visible only when I am seen as if from somewhere else, as if someone else is seeing. So often we use the symbol third eye, as if I am seen through third eye, as if eye of Shiva or Buddha awareness, Krishna consciousness, Buddha mind. So now it's not my mind, it's not my consciousness, it's not my awareness, it's as if cosmic awareness which starts seeing, and it only can realize the truth. So it's a very different experience in a way, as per the scriptures. So all similar things are given in more or less all the scriptures of all, more or less all the teachings. But often we get lost in many other ritualistic practices and ritualistic beliefs, and because it's difficult to come to this direct realization, because that will mean losing myself. That means everything I understand or see or I perceive in a way I perceive right now, everything will change. Everything will, as if fundamentally have a shift. My existence, perception about my existence will shift. Perception about everyone's existence will shift. Perception about everything will shift, as if. That's not easy. It's like standing on shaky grounds. It's like not able to hold anything, and everything is just shaking, and everything is as if disoriented. Nothing is fixed. So amidst that, in between that, I am perceived. So everything, when everything seems illusion, what is the real? So tendency is to see the real, to find the real, to hold to something. Even this tendency as if lose out, because there's nothing to hold on to. Because tendency is to hold on to anything worldly. So even that drops. So then, as if nothing remains. Fundamental, what is the truth? That as if emerges. So this is not easy. So that's why many in between stops are, or in between tools are designed in different teachings, so that one may move step by step. When one is ready or one is prepared, then one moves ahead. So till then one believes something, one particular form and one way of understanding, and then after reaching one stage, one questions that stage also, like peeling the onion. So one layer, one reaches to a layer, then one start questioning that layer and again goes deeper. And then comes a point where fundamental question directly hit that who am I? Not as a intellectual idea, not as a theory, not as a just words, but as a direct existential hit. Who am I? What am I? Am I really this? Questioning I become the question. then when I become the question, when this question hit directly at the core, then if one persists, if one stays there, something may start opening. Something may as if opens up, and as if, just like that's why we call it as enlightenment, as if a light comes in, not exactly light, not physical world, this worldly light, but as if some opening happens and a different seeing, different perceiving starts happening, as if because I am in the question and I cannot know myself, so I cannot see myself. It's like I cannot pull up myself. So kind of a let go happens in which something else, as if appears and start seeing. So these are in a way kind of trying to explain or share the understanding, but obviously different sages may share differently, and sometimes even many don't even describe, don't even say anything about these kind of realizations, because often illusions, often imaginations do pop up, and one starts imagining about this, and one may imagine that I know. But also, I feel this need to be shared because many confusions and many illusions are there, and real seekers need clarification, as if because many of the seekers as if are near to that, they are just ready, but nobody is telling what to do, how the things, what are the things, I mean, what is actually the truth, I mean, what is the direction. So many years, many time is lost in wandering around, not understanding what actually is the game. So this is, but again, one need to also understand that this is just a beginning. After this realization, after this enlightenment, if we can call it, new understanding, new perception, perceiving, a new journey begins, because still not it is Kaivalya or moksha or nirvana. So Kaivalya, moksha, nirvana is again a different level. So one may realize oneself, one may be enlightened in understanding or encountering the kind of truth or sudden sense of the truth of existence. But one does not stay, often one does not stay there because of past habits and a very strong flow of this worldly perception and existence. So it's like one can say that there is a rope in the dark area and one is afraid that it may be a snake. So suddenly a flash of light comes in and I see that okay, it is a rope, it is not a snake, and then light goes off again. So I have although seen it that it is a rope, but still deep down trust is not there. Deep down still fear is there that it is a snake. Still, a belief, a confidence is not there. Still, I don't move with the perception, with the clarity that it is a rope, it is not a snake. So to be able to see, to be able to move, act according to understanding that it is a rope, requires a continuous light in that area where rope is there. So in continuous light, I am very confident. When I continuously see that it is rope, now I'm confident, I clear that's, there's no question of it is being a snake. That continuous light is a very different state. So that is not easy. That may take a lot of time. That requires a very different practice. So, and that's the difference. So that's why in our scriptures, in Sanatan scriptures, Sanatan Dharma, that typical Upanishads and Vedas and all that, so we talk about pragya and sthita pragya. So we have the understanding, pragya, we have encountered that understanding and that realization, but still I am not stable in that. Still I am not as if fixed in that understanding, that perception. Staying in that understanding, staying in that perception is sthita pragya. And that is ultimate. So that's a very different state. So first of all, this self-realization and enlightenment, and as I see and understand, many people are up to that state of self-realization and enlightenment, but some sense is there, but many people don't even understand, don't even believe that, okay, this is what is realization and enlightenment, and then further practices and journey is there to move to the sthita pragya state. So that need to be understood for a seeker who is searching and seeking deeply and who is deeply interested in understanding, like we call it mumukshu, sadhak, practitioner. So this is for mumukshu, or for those who are near to that understanding, near to that realization and enlightenment.